name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be trying to fix up this Game Boy Pocket. So this was sent in by a viewer and Patreon called Lee, and Lee is also the same guy that sent in this fluke meter and also the 3D pen. So now apparently it's completely dead. Right, and we can see there's quite bad corrosion. Not so much on that side, but definitely on that side. Yeah, there's no power light there at all, and even when I turn the batteries here, you can see there's no power. So this should hopefully be an interesting one. I'm thinking immediately it's probably to do with the corrosion down here. Now we did say he's opened up already and cleaned it with IPA, but that didn't fix it. So let's start taking this thing apart. So we have 6 tri-wing screws here, so let's undo them. Now this video today is sponsored by the My Mate Vince Massive, and this month that consists of Saturnine Cinema, Robert Hughes, Operational 117, kitdigital.com and Cassie Clark. So big thumbs up to those 5 and also everyone else that supports me on this channel. I can see a lot of corrosion on that particular screw. Yeah, and I can see evidence all around here, so I think the leak was probably quite bad. And again, on that point there, you can see a lot. So I'm going to take the motherboard out completely. Let's release the ribbon cable up here for the screen. There we go. Right, so now I'm hoping we can just work on this and not have to worry about anything here. Again, you can see that button there is covered in corrosion. And also see the headphone jack at the bottom. I presume that's a headphone jack. Yeah. It's really bad. That one as well. That's a weird stain there, isn't it? Well, I suppose the first thing we need to do is see if we've got continuity through here, because it is very corroded on this bit here. So let's put this to continuity, so when I hit the leads together you can hear that it makes a noise. So to begin with, let's just make sure that we have got continuity between just a tip off here, just in case there's corrosion stopping that. So we got it from there, and let's just go on a tip off here. Yeah. Right, so now let's go from here to this side here. Yeah, so we've got it going to there. Well, let's zoom in and see if we can see where the actual tracks go to. I presume they're running on the other side of the board. It's hard because we've got all this kind of this paint on it. They're really hard to see. But maybe I can tell from this side. Let's zoom right in. Right, so it's the bottom one, the negative one, which is mostly corroded. So let's start from here, see if we can see where it's going. So is it going up on this track here? Is this the one? So does it go to here, for example? No. I presume it's on these tracks here, but maybe it's on the opposite side of the board. Where does this one go to? Now, these are all to do with just the button presses, aren't they? Right, let's take the ground from here. Alright, so we definitely got it there, but not there. So is that our problem? Surely the negative should be the ground. Is it as simple as that? But that's on the positive side of that capacitor. Right, okay, so that's on the negative side. Negative. Negative. But yeah, this capacitor is coming up on the positive. Has this capacitor here shorted? No. Why is the positive side of the capacitor coming up as negative? And yet the negative side of the capacitor isn't. Coming up as ground, and the negative side isn't. Well, okay, I'm not going to lie, I'm very confused why the positive side of the capacitor is coming up on the grounds, and also I'm confused why the negative side of the battery is not coming up. I think it should. Do The only thing which is really throwing me is the fact of this one here coming up as a complete short. So rather than get too bogged down in this, it's such an easy thing to take apart. I've already got a Game Boy Pocket, so why don't I just take that one apart and then see what that's doing, and then we know that it could just be maybe a faulty battery terminal, maybe this capacitor, who knows what's going on with that one, but let's see if it's doing it on a working one. Right, so here we have a working one. Now, let's see. Here. Brilliant. Excellent, okay. So you can see now that it definitely should be going to there, so that's our problem. Now let's see what's going on with this capacitor. Well, look at that. Why is the positive side of that capacitor, I can understand if it's charged up, look, I'm holding it on there for ages and it's not going off. Isn't that weird? So even on this one it's coming up there as a full short, and the negative below, full short, yet the positive on that one, fine, and the positive on this one, fine. That's really, sorry, the negative on that one's fine. It's like this has been put on the wrong way. It's like it's just there to confuse you. Anyway, look, it's doing the same as this one, so that's fine. Let's now concentrate on why this one here, because if you look, can you see when I go across here and here, you can see it's coming up with a full short, yeah? And if I go into continuity, you can hear it beeping. Here, 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 all of these points on the board. Yeah, and on this one it's not doing that. So we know what our fault is now. So let's unsolder this and see what's going on. The board where it's soldered on must be really badly corroded. Right, so I've got my soldering iron set to 480 degrees Celsius. I've got a nice big tip on it because this is going to drain away quite a bit of heat, and I'm just going to add leaded solder onto that. There we go, so I've got a nice big bubble of molten mess. Let's try to suck it up. There we go. Right, so I'm just forcing it through there now. Hopefully I'll be able to take that out. There we go. Excellent. Right, so let's give this thing a real good scrape and see what's going on. Right, so they are in contact with each other, but yet they're still not in contact with, for example, there. So I think we need to get a fiberglass pen. I think we need to scrape all around here to see what's going on. So I've got my gloves on and a fiberglass pen, and I'm just going to keep scraping around here, and hopefully then it will get through the yellow and give me an idea of what's going on underneath. Right, I haven't cleaned it yet, but look, it makes sense to me now. So what I thought was a track is not. These things here are more like isolation between two parts of the board. So if you look at here now, we can see we've got copper here, missing copper, and then copper again. So if you look with the multimeter, can you see continuity, nothing. Yeah, so we've got continuity on all these bits here, but nothing through here. Yeah. So this all needs to be copper here. So that's why the battery terminal, which goes in here, was not connecting to anything else, because you see it couldn't. It was isolated here by the corrosion. It needs to be connected to this bit of copper, which will then go through here, and I presume then go through the board. Where does it go through the board now? Roughly around this area here. So then it will liven up this bit, which will go to the power jack, and does it go off elsewhere? It's a very hard board to trace, but that I'm 100% sure is the problem. Now there might be other problems, but that's definitely one of the problems. So let's get it soldered back in and then run a jumper wire from the battery terminal to here, and then I think what we should do is cover that in solder mask, neaten it up a bit, and yeah, let's see what else is wrong with it. For example, I'm not sure if this here is more corrosion, but we'll see what works when we do that. Now just when I'm working on this thing here, I'm just going to spray some white vinegar around the area, because we have still got a lot of corrosion and stuff on the capacitors and stuff like that. Luckily this top half of the board does look to be okay. There you can see them all fizzing up, you see. Now because white vinegar is an acid and the batteries are alkaline, the idea is that hopefully it will neutralise it and then stop any further spread of corrosion. Okay, most of that is off, and now I'm going to clean it with IPA and hopefully it will evaporate the rest of the vinegar off. Alright, while that's drying I'm just going to get some sandpaper and I'm just going to clean up this little connection. Ideally I'd like to take this out, but it's so corroded up here I think I'm going to struggle, and I haven't got one to replace it with, so I'm just going to give this a good clean with the vinegar as well. I'm going to let that work its magic for a little while. I'm just cleaning up these little button contacts as well. In fact, what I'm going to do with these is just clean them in the sink. I'm thinking about the best way to do this, and what I might do is, rather than solder the battery terminal on and then put the wire around the battery terminal and this track, I think I might actually do this underneath the track here and then put the battery terminal on top of it, so basically the wire is lodged underneath it. I think that might be a better job. Put a little bit of flux down. Tin up the wire as well. So now we should have contact between here, because we've joined it up again, and here, which we have, yeah? So what I'm going to do is now solder the battery terminal back on, which I've cleaned up in the vinegar. Just drop that in the IPA. You can see there it's looking quite a bit cleaner. So I should be able to get that back through. I'm just going to heat up the top to melt it all down, and then I can solder up underneath. There we go, you can see now that's nice and flat. I just need to straighten it up. Let's solder up underneath. There we have it. If you have a look that side there, you can see that the wire is nicely soldered underneath it. And if you look at this side here, you can see it's a nice strong connection there. So what I'm going to do is just quickly put it back together just to see if it's going to liven up, and if it is, then we'll take it apart again and we'll put a solder mask on it. It's amazing how much that vinegar has cleaned up those terminals. Let's see now, so it's in the off position. Let's see if it's going to do anything now. What do you reckon? I reckon yes. Yay, there we go. Shouldn't that say Nintendo? Let's get a game in there. Oh, here we go. That screen doesn't look healthy, does it? No, I think we've got more problems here. Right, let's clean this up a bit better, just in case it is a bad connection here. Just adding a bit of IPA into the contrast, and I'll do the volume here while I'm here. It's not even making the noise now. See, if it was just a screen, it should come up with the noise, and it's not coming up with the noise. I'm not sure where to take this one. I'm going to give everything another clean with IPA, just in case there is vinegar left on it. Now, when I was doing the cleaning there, the speaker fell off. Now, there's nothing unusual in that because they're just held on with wires. But if you have a look at the end of them, can you just see they look corroded? So obviously the corrosion sat there and it's made that weak. And when I look at a lot of the joints, they don't look healthy. So for example, look at these ones up here. To me, that doesn't look great. It still looks like there's corrosion in between the pins. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape a few of them, and also I'm going to try to add fresh solder onto some of the dull looking joints, and hopefully that might fix it. Maybe one or two of the joints are not making very well. Look at this board here, you can definitely see joints that don't look good on that. Right, so some of them are reflowed now, and I've given it a good clean. So let's see if it does anything. See if it does anything different now. Okay, here goes. Oh, it's still turning on. Okay, good. We got the sound. Right, well, we have got the image, but look how sensitive. I'm barely moving that at all. Look, it's all over the place. See? Right, that contrast switch needs work still. But look, we've definitely got something there now anyway. It's hard to see because of the contrast, it keeps coming and going. Let's try to put a game in and see if we can hear the sounds of the game. Nintendo? Excellent, there's the game. Fantastic, let's see if volume's working. Excellent. Right, so we just have to deal with this contrast switch. I mean, I can't tell you how little I'm moving it. Let's just watch this now. Hopefully you can see on the tweezers. There. off, off that way because it's so dark. So there's nowhere, you should have a nice range of movement there. But it looks like it is recognising the game, and it looks like the Game Boy itself is working, which is great. So now let's concentrate on this little contrast switch, and you never know, we might be successful. So contrast is this one here. I've added some flux onto the contacts here. Let's just reflow this, and then I'm going to put some deoxit in here and just keep working it around like that, and hopefully it will clear itself up. Actually, while I'm waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, let's zoom out a little bit and let's actually see if we're getting a resistance reading on the meter. No? Let's try those two. No? No, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, maybe that's the problem. Let's reflow it, put the oxide in, try to clean it up, and then we'll see what's happening. Let's zoom right in for this. Now let's add some more solder. There we go. I'm just going to clean that with a little bit of IPA. Right, so I'm going to put some in this side and then use gravity to let it get into it. And I'm also going to put in some this side here. I'm just going to do this for a few minutes to try to work it all the way in. No, same problem again. Right, it must be to do with this. I'm wondering if there's a way I can get into it without breaking it completely. See, really it needs to be replaced, but I haven't got a spare. I don't even know if you can buy spares. Slow that down. I don't even know if you'd be able to buy spares for that. Right, I think I'm wasting my time. I think I need to maybe I should try unsoldering it and taking it out completely. Okay, I've got it off. It wasn't easy. Well, I think we know now where the two contacts are. So it's going to be that one, and then they go through the wires to this side here. So this is how you test them. Here, on this side here. Right, okay. Do you know what? I should have known that because it says VR there for variable resistor. 2 and VR and VR2, so that's where you test it from, I think. So now that means then if it's there and there, it should be these two pins. Let's see if these two pins are giving us any reading. Still got nothing there. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I'll tell you what we could do, so we know. Let's try it on R1 here, the working one. Yeah, there you go. Can you see? 6K. Okay, well at least we know 430. 500, that's all the way up there. 600 ohms? No, 26 ohms there. And it's going up. 2000 ohms. 11,000 ohms. So 100%. they're the two ones. Now I can't seem to get anything out of this one here at all. It could be as simple as the tracks on the inside might have just been eroded away. That is very, very possible. And the reason we're getting a reading on the very top is because the little fingers in here, because there is little fingers when you look closely in here, little kind of like metal contacts that go downwards. Maybe a bit of carbon track is just existing on this side here. But it's certainly not working anyway. But what I'm thinking is, I do have an old board here from these little cheap, you know, these little kind of PSP clones. I got a job lot of these ages ago. And on this one here, I've already taken the USB port off for a different project. So what I'm thinking is, if you have a look at the, I know it's a different colour, but if you have a look at them, they look pretty much, well, they are an identical size. Yes, this is only 3 pin, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. No, 5 pins. But remember, we're only using 2 pins on the Nintendo anyway. And I know it's a different colour, but does that really matter? Don't think anybody would notice that. If I go between this contact, and let's go all the way up here, we go from 2 ohms all the way to 19,000 ohms. So I wonder, would I get away with putting this one in here? What I'm slightly worried about is that this is near enough a direct short, because up here it's reading 2 ohms and on this one it's not. Or could that just be because it's in the circuit? Yeah, now we're dropping fast, aren't we? Maybe it's because it's in circuit, it's giving a different reading. But what I'm thinking about doing is unsoldering this one and soldering it into here and seeing what's going on, because we know we've got the 2 contacts here. It probably doesn't even matter which way round they go. And well, it's a resistor, isn't it? So it's not going to matter. So as long as I get the middle one and that one onto that one there and that one there, then it's going to be okay. So we will have to run a bit of a jumper wire, but I think I'll give it a go. I've got nothing else to go on. If I had a spare board off here, of course I would just swap it over. But let's see if we can do this one. Right, so I've got it out now, came out lovely and easy. Now watch, if I go between the middle and this one here, it gives me the high reading, 19,000 ohms. And if I go between here and here, it gives me the low reading, which is 2 ohms. Now if I was to rotate it all the other way, then it's going to be the exact opposite. So this is going to be the 2 ohm reading, and this is going to be the 19,000 ohm reading. Obviously these are through holes, so I'm going to have to make them surface mount. But I'll keep these 2 as through hole for these ones here. Right, so I'm not 100% sure what I have to do here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to solder this leg to begin with at the bottom, so I'm just going to lift that up a bit. That's going to be soldered to there, and this one I've got to get to this leg here, which is not a problem. I can just bend that down. Right, you can see what I've done now, and can you see I've bypassed the other one, so it's not touching them. Slightly nervous about doing this, but we'll don't know until you try. Let's give it a go. Let's now see if we're getting a reading. So if I was to go between, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go on to the contacts at the back here. Right, so that's 9,000 ohms. 17,000 ohms, and we go down to 2 ohms. That's what I'm nervous about, that one there, because that's definitely different than what we had before on the on the working one. Some of you know exactly what's going to happen right now, don't you? But I don't. Do you know what? I think that might fit okay. Oh my god, it does. Honestly, it turns better than the other one. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it halfway, because the thing I'm worried about is the... I'll tell you what it hasn't got. It hasn't got the little V cut out of it. This has got a little V to let you know what's halfway. The only thing I'm nervous about is the 2 ohms, because I'm worried that that's going to put through too much voltage and then blow it up. So I'm going to start in the middle, but I am going to do it to the extremes, even if it does work, because obviously that's what's going to happen in the future when somebody's using this. Right, I can just about see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it looks good. It looks clean. Oh, look at that. Right, the annoying thing is, right now it's working perfectly, isn't it? But by me doing this now, I could end up damaging it. Right, here goes. Let's see if it's going to go bang. Ready? Is it going to go bang? No. Let's go the opposite way. It's still here. Ho ho! Look at that. It's perfect. Right, let's leave it there just for a few seconds, see if it goes bang. No. And let's leave it this way for a few seconds. No. Okay, now let's turn it off. Let's put it all the way to there. And let's see if it goes bang when we turn it on. Which it hasn't. And now let's turn it off again. Put it all the way to here. Turn it on. And let's see if it goes bang this way. I don't think so. Oh, what a fix. I'm so happy with that. It's made to measure. Look at it. It looks perfect. Honestly, there's no resistance on that whatsoever. Look, hold on. Little finger, barely touching it. And you can see that is working. Oh, what a result. Look at that. Right, okay. I'm happy. What a fix. Let's put it back together. Let's put solder mask on that repair that we did earlier. So basically the things that was wrong with it was that the corrosion had eaten this away here and got rid of this thing here as well. So let's put solder mask all around here so it doesn't get damaged in the future. Okay, so I'm just shining the UV light on that now for a good 10 or 15 minutes. Hopefully that will go hard and then we can close it up and finish off. Still waiting for that to go off, but I thought I'd open this one up here just to see if I can find what the fault is, and I think I have found it. So I'm just going to zoom right in and point it out to you. Right, now if you have a look here, you can see that, remember I said it only worked when I had it at the very extreme, when I had it at the very top, and as soon as I moved it a millimetre it stopped. Well, if you have a look, can you see there's nothing here. The carbon track ends just here. You can see there's nothing here at all. So if you remember, the contact works between here and here. And can you see this goes to the middle section here? So it goes from the middle track to the outer track via these fingers. Yeah, so these fingers are what's pressing on them. And all round here looks intact, all round here apart from here. So if that was between here and here, we would have got a reading and it would have worked. So I think what was happening is, the only time it was working was when we had the finger all the way over this side here, so it was connecting with this one here. But as soon as I moved it a millimetre this way, it's going onto this empty void, and then it's not working at all. So it was acting more like an on and off switch rather than a variable resistor. I'm glad I opened that up there. I hope you can see that. So this is, there we go, that's the perfect one there. Now you can see the carbon here. And it's broken there. Interesting. Okay, that should be long enough now. Yeah, I think that's got a nice, I think that's gone hard. Right, let's get this thing back together. gave it a little wipe over, and it looks good enough. Looks pretty good. So this sticker lets it down a little bit. It's strange because I thought they had foil ones like that, but obviously not all of them, because that does look original. But anyway, if you have a look here now, I think those contacts look pretty good. And I think it's going to be a lasting repair. I'll tell you why. Whoever's playing it is going to have the contrast set properly. And if it's set properly, then it must be the same resistance. This variable resistor must have the same resistance as the other one when it's working properly. So I think it will last. Here we go. Now that kind of flicking you see is just coming from my actual camera. When I'm using my own eyes on that, I can't see that on here. There we go. Looks lovely and clear. Right, let's see if the headphone jack is working. I can already hear it. Yeah, so that's working as well. Right, what I'm going to do is just make sure that the D-pad and the buttons are working, so I can just go to entering my name in here, and that will do all the testing. Right, here we go. Down, right, left. Yeah, that feels perfect. I think this will be... Oh no. Oh yeah, no, that's, hold on. Select. Yeah, there we go. Can you see capitals? This is in French, this is. And entering my name. And then go back. Yeah, so every single button here is working, and start as well. Perfect. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I thoroughly enjoyed fixing this one. So big thanks to Lee for sending it out to me. And massive thanks to everybody who's made it to the end of the video. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye now.